www.youtube.com/cardgamingforall. The Card Gamer here today with my own review of the Cardfight Vanguard G Odyssey of Interspatial Dragon G Start Deck 01 featuring here Chronicle. Now, stay tuned to this video because at the end of this video, I'm gonna do a giveaway. So that should be interesting. Anyway, for this G Start deck, it's very much different than a trial deck because in Malaysia, each trial deck will cost about 65 to 70 ringgit a trial deck as of right now, of course. And Bushido actually managed to find a way to make it cheaper for people who want to start playing Vanguard with these start decks, which retail at about 35 ringgit a piece. So that's actually pretty nice of Bushido. Now, another difference between the G Start decks and regular trial decks are that for regular trial decks, those decks, consist of cards that were used by the characters in the anime, whereas G Start decks, they never actually appeared in the anime, but they are actually specifically built to cater for really new players who really want to start Vanguard but don't have the money for it, and also they made it actually really fun. I checked out the deck list online, and I'm actually not to say excited about it, but it's a promising build and it has all the key components for every starting player needs. Anyway, without any further ado, let's crack it up and see what kind of things contains inside each package. Alley-oop. So here's the plasticky bit that contains the deck. Unseal the plastic. The cellophane tape. Plastic tape. They're made with the same material. Here we are. Now, each trial deck, or for in this case, start deck, contains one fully, not to say fully built deck, but 52 ready to play deck of cards. A playmat, which helps new players to guide themselves during game. Pretty standardized, I guess. A starter's guide, obviously the rule book, and alright, based on what I read in the Cardfight Vanguard wiki, each start deck contains one promo code for you to redeem a free Interspatial Dragon Mystery Flare Dragon for the upcoming Cardfight Vanguard Online. Now, I have the code here in hand. I'll just cover it. This is how the code will look like. The code will be underneath this part that I cover with my finger here. So if you want the code, get the start deck for yourself and redeem that free card by yourself. I'm gonna redeem mine later once it's released worldwide. So, pushing this aside, okay, let's unravel the deck and check out what kind of cards it contains. Transition. There you have it, folks. The deck itself in its cardboard flesh. Let's go through to the card list and I'll share to you guys the highlights of this deck. First and foremost, this start deck comes with 2 copies of Thunderbolt Shockwave Colossus, and for the Great Trees, they provided with us with 4 copies of Divergence Dragon, 4 copies of Fate Wheel Dragon, next 4 copies of Smoke Gear Dragon, 4 copies of Twin Mazer Dragon, 2 copies of Relic Master Dragon, 2 copies of Mazer Gear Dragon, 4 copies of Steam Fighter Meshi, 4 copies of Summit Crest Gearwolf, 4 copies of Withdrawn Gear Raven, the perfect card, 1 copy of Steam Scara Gigi, 1 piece of Timepiece Draco Kid, 4 critical triggers, 4 stand triggers, 4 heal triggers, and Bushido are kind enough to give new players the 4 copies of Lucky Pot Draco Kid. Alright, now let's focus on to the key components for this deck. Next transition. Here's a quick info for you new players out there. The Gear Chronicle clan is mainly focuses much more on returning your opponent's rearguard to the bottom of the deck. And in some instances, if the new supports, you do return your own rearguards, but you are able to actually evolve your rearguards to a higher form. But as of this start deck, it focuses much more on returning your opponent's rearguard to the bottom of his or her deck and gives you much more benefit upon doing so. First key component for this deck would be the 4 copies of Divergence Dragon, in which its Generation Break 1 skill says that by paying 1 counterblast, when this unit attack hits a Vanguard, by paying the cost, choose one of your opponent's grade 2 or less rearguards and put it onto the bottom of his or her deck. However, this skill can only be activated when he is on the Vanguard circle, and its second skill says that during your turn, when this unit, when a G unit strikes over this unit, choose one of your Vanguards and that unit will gain plus 5,000 power until the end of the turn. Now, I can see a lot of, not a lot, just a few combos I can resolve around this. If you have like a copy of, Chronos Command Dragon, when attack hits Counter Blast 2 and Soul Blast 2, return everything of from your opponent's rearguard to the bottom of the deck, or even Mystery Flare Dragon. And I think there are other cards that requires you to get the attack hit. So the bonus 5,000 powers help actually, it really does. Right, next up is a card that is actually reprinted from GBT01, Fate Wheel Dragon. Now originally it was a double R card. Now here's its skill, with Generation Break 1, by paying 1 counterblast, when this unit attacks a Vanguard, by paying the cost, until the end of the turn, your opponent cannot call grade 0 cards from their hands to the Guardian Circle. So basically making it unblockable, basically unstoppable against grade 0. So your opponents are forced to use grade 1s or above, or maybe interceptor units. Next up, its second skill says that by paying 1 counterblast and 1 soul blast, when this unit is being placed onto the Vanguard circle, by paying the cost, choose one of your opponent's grade 1 or less rearguards and put it onto the bottom of their decks. So pretty useful in this start deck, I might say. Next key component I want to share to you guys is another card that was actually reprinted from GBT01 and was a double R card, which is Relic Master Dragon. Now its skill says that when this unit is placed onto the Vanguard or Rearguard circle, by paying 2 counterblasts, choose one of your opponent's grade 2 or less rearguards and put it onto the bottom of his or her deck. So pretty useful, doesn't require any generation breaks to activate. Just being 2 counterblasts is a hefty cost, but it's pretty helpful in early game. Late game, not so much. Next card will be Steam Fighter Meshi. Now, Meshi's skill can only be activated once per turn, provided Generation Break 1 has been activated. Now, by paying 1 Soul Blast, when your opponent's rearguard is being put into the deck by effect of one of your cards, by paying that cost, choose one of your damage zone and countercharge it, flip it face up. So yeah, it's a counter charger. If you intend to build a deck that resolves on heavy counterblasting, this would be your good help. And provided with the cards that they give you, Meshi's requirements should be able to meet without any problems. Next card would be Summit Crest Gearwolf. Now its skill can only be activated onto the rearguard circle after Generation Break 1 is activated. Now, when your opponent's rearguard is being put to the bottom of the deck due to the effect of your cards, this unit will gain plus 3,000 power until the end of the turn. So, like I said, it combos a lot it gains a lot when your opponent's rearguard is being put into the bottom of the deck. Most players would actually use this when they were playing using Upheaval Pegasus, Chronos Command Revolution, Chronos Command Dragon, or any cards that actually mass returns your opponent's rearguard to the bottom of the deck. So it's a pretty good deal, I guess. Alright, the final piece of the puzzle, or you could say the final key card for this deck would be the 4 copies of Lucky Pot Draco Kid. Now his skill says that when this unit is basically you just have to put this unit from the rearguard circle to the soul, meaning to your Vanguard soul. Choose one of your units and that unit will gain plus 3,000 power until the end of the turn. In which this is what I meant when you want to use Meshi's skill, requires you to Soul Blast. Let's say Fate Wheel Dragon requires you to Soul Blast as well. Even Gigi requires you to Soul Blast. So like I said, Bushido was kind enough to provide 4 copies of Lucky Pot Draco Kit in this start deck. In the original trial decks, Bushido at least provide only 2 copies, so which forces the player to buy another trial deck to get at least 4 copies of this Draco kit. So let's move on to the G units for this deck, shall we? Stride Generation! Now for the G units for this deck, this start deck provides you 2 copies, which are the only 2 copies of Thunderbolt Shockwave Colossus, in which his skill says that by paying 1 Counterblast, when this unit is being put into the G zone from the Vanguard Circle, by paying the cost, choose one of your face-up G units from your G zone and turn it face down. Now, based on its first printing, Bushido for the English version misprinted it, where if you can see here it says you may when this unit is being put into the G zone from Vanguard Circle, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose one of your other face up cards in your G zone and turn it face up. So it gets confusing. However, thanks to these things called errata, I'm sure that Bushido is about to reprint a correct version of this. It's supposed to be turn one of your face up G units into your G zone and turn it face down. So don't worry, the issue has been addressed, and as I heard, they might be reprinting a new patch. But for existing player, they should be able to claim a new set. I don't know, I have to send an email to Bushido about this. Anyway, let's transition to the end. So there you have it, folks, the Card Fight Vanguard G Start Deck 01 featuring Gear Chronicle Clan, the Odyssey of the Interspatial Dragon. Now for those who really want to start playing Vanguard, I would highly suggest you to purchase the start deck, because it has the necessary components for every starting deck. Actually requires 4 perfect guards, 4 draw triggers that allow you to power up your units, and the key components that complement the clan's special abilities. Now, another selling point for this start deck is actually the price itself. As of right now, as of this video's recording of 3rd of April 2016, the current retail price of the G start deck is 35 ringgit, opposing to the current new trial deck right now. It's now retailing at 70 ringgit. So the pro is that the pros for this deck is actually it's cheaper. It focuses on, specifically on how these clans work, and I don't know, it helps for starting players. But the con is that it's not actually as good as the actual trial decks that are being sold in retails right now, because the actual trial decks that each of the characters in anime use are actually really strong, and its supports are actually available in the current booster packs. Like the current one might need for you to tinker about it, but give and take, it's actually really good. So with that in mind, thanks again for watching, and as the tagline always say, oh hold up, I actually promised you a giveaway. So I actually bought myself an extra G start deck because I love Vanguard, and I actually want to share my love for Vanguard with everybody else. So I want to do a giveaway to you guys. To win this free G start deck is very easy. All you have to do, there are 3 ways for you can do it. Number 1, you can actually snap a photo of you doing the Stride Generation pose like this. Yeah, that's it. And you can also record yourself a video doing the Stride Generation pose like these characters here. It can be silly, it can be serious, whatever. Or the last week can actually win this G start deck is actually by submitting a fan art. You draw something and submit it to me. So how to submit it to me is very easy. All you have to do, I put a link into the description box below, which will lead you to my Facebook page. Once you've recorded your video, snap your photo, or even draw yourself the Stride Generation picture, send it to that link. I'll just say it to you guys, www.facebook.com/cardgamingforall. I will decide the winner in 1 week's time after this video has been uploaded. So I hope the best of luck for all of you, and to the future lucky winner, you will get yourself this snazzy G Start Deck 01. So what are you waiting for? Start recording, start snapping photos, start drawing your pictures, because I really want to give this free trial deck to you guys. Anyway, thanks again for watching. Stay subscribed, stay tuned, and as the tagline always say, stand up my Vanguard!